Welcome everybody, my name's Colton from Zimtu Capital. I'm sitting down with Justin Schroenn, the Vice President of Zambezi Sports. Everybody at Zimtu is very excited for Zambezi, so thank you.
Oh, thanks for having me, Colton. Everyone at Zambezi is very excited too. It's a unique partnership, enormous potential. There's huge agreement that the explosive sector coming out in investment is going to be outdoor recreation. We've had a whole world that's been compressed like a spring. And when the lid comes off this box, we're going to see tourism, outdoor recreation explode. The sector couldn't be better. Well-known brands are through the roof right now. Bicycles, paddle sports, the works. Zimtu recognized this, which is a testament to Dave Hodges' vision in many cases. Timing was right, and we're really coming out of the gate fast.
So can you tell me a little bit about what Zambezi is and how it got started?
Zambezi is, in a nutshell, the world's most versatile, family-friendly, and practical aquatic sports board. That might not sound like a big deal, but it is. It's a tiny, light, easy to use, easy to own, easy to learn board, which puts it at a distinct advantage to existing paddle sports and aquatic board sports, which have never really catered to the broad market. They've all been niche markets: surfing, supping, kayaking. You either have to have the space to own these things, you have to have the strength, the fitness, a whole variety of things. Zambezi is aimed squarely at the vast majority of human beings. We have a lovely expression that actually came out in the early days. It's a board for everybody. Every body type, every body of water. Oh, yeah. And there's that, what I just said there is very important, because the Zambezi board was designed to be used powerfully in flat water. It's awesome in ways. I'm going to show you. We come from a surf town, one of the surf capitals of the world, Durban, South Africa. Gunston 500, surf greats like Sean Thompson, Martin Potter, surf brands like Gotcha and Instinct. So we come out of that surf culture, but the reality is the money is in the flat water, the Caribbean, the Mediterranean. Anyone who's been, you've been to the Mediterranean. Yeah. They do get waves, but the majority of it is beautiful flat water. And then on that topic, the size of people's accommodations, even the hotels in most parts of the Italian Riviera, they're tiny. So the ownership of a paddleboard, and these hotels run into this problem all the time. They want to offer these things to their guests, but now you've got these huge 14-foot, 35-pound products that they can't store inside. Guests can't carry them, and it's not just the Mediterranean. How ironic! One of the first 5-star resorts to want to buy the boards from us was a resort in Nova Scotia. Their guests couldn't carry the paddle boards. They couldn't ride them. They had to store them. It was so they're in love with it. And on the flip side, we've just been contacted this morning by the rental aquatic sports outlet for one of the most prestigious resorts in the Mediterranean, the famous four-season Astir Palace. This is where movie stars, I think it was Humphrey Bogart, I can't remember, Brigitte Bardot, Frank Sinatra, that's the jet set. And they have expressed a strong desire to have these boards into that resort. They will be happening this summer. So the reason I say this, of course, is that you've got a bookend of a resort in Nova Scotia, which is the last place you'd think of.
Yeah, it's cold.
It's cold. Yeah. And you've got a prestigious, like more than 5-star resort in the Athens Riviera. I think we can be confident of getting everything in between.
So it sounds like a very versatile board. Yeah. You know, you can bring it anywhere, things like that. So what type of market are you looking to target with this?
Well, the board, I mean, this on the size, it's actually only 3'2", less than 9 pounds. You compare a paddleboard, which is on average 35 pounds, 14 feet. Kayaks, everyone knows how big a kayak is. The primary markets are, and I'll go with the smaller ones to the biggest. You've got obviously safety and search and rescue. The largest lifeguard organization in Greece, Lifeguard Hellas, massive lifeguard organization, already has a pre-production fleet of these boards. Oh, wow. In the Mediterranean, lifeguards are not like here in Canada where they're municipal, often employees. These are professional organizations that are paid on contract to look after all these resort beaches as well as public beaches, and importantly, they are paid to lifeguard these huge sporting events, massive triathlons, which is a huge sport in the Mediterranean, Ocean Man, Iron Man. You get the picture. So all of the athletes that are doing these sports are being exposed to the lifeguards on Zambezi boards. Why? Because they can monitor the race very closely. They can get up and close, and they're going to hit you with a paddle.
Right. So
they love it. So the search and rescue, they've also used them in the floods in Athens too. That's the hardcore side of the board. Then you have physiotherapy, and that should not be underestimated. You have because the board's very small and very nimble, can be used meaningfully in pool. Therefore, you can have fitness classes, you can have rehab classes. We have a local Vancouver physiotherapists have written long testimonials on the actual physiology of what's happening. We have had direct experiences in Athens. And our viewers can find some of these on our website and on our Facebook. A triathlete who had a stroke, she was a great triathlete, she had a stroke during the triathlon actually on a rest stop, could barely, total loss of balance. I mean, walking on a beach she had to have people holding her, very, very weakened arm. And it was kind of a challenge. Her friends had brought her to the beach to see if she could ride the Zambezi board. And within about half an hour of just adjusting things, change things a little bit like that, she actually did it. And it was the most stunning thing, because for the first time, that athlete who had been dealt a blow was able to, again, she was still strong, she just didn't have the, but it was absolutely incredible. And our belief is that it will have a big impact. But you're asking about the market. It's the obvious. The big market is family fun in the sun.
Right.
It's about recreation, getting our motto is no one gets left behind on the beach. If you go to Hawaii or somewhere and mom and dad want to go surfing, but granny and grandpa can't surf, and the kids can't surf, and cousin Nellie can't surf, well, they won't do it. The idea is to have a sport that everyone can go and do it. And we have a very, very excellent relationship. I'm not at liberty to say their name yet, but we're one of the world's preeminent scuba companies, scuba and snorkeling companies. Why? These companies, the dive fins and the snorkeling is their bread and butter. Right. All the fancy stuff is the markup is not, it's so expensive. The snorkels and the flippers, the dive fins. Zambezi board uses medium length dive fins.
Oh, okay.
Not the short ones, medium length.
Yeah.
So the snorkeling companies are realizing these boards are going to get more people out snorkeling. Everyone who buys one of these boards is going to buy a pair of dive fins. So they have used the word time and time again, synergy. So we have a big interest from the snorkeling brands, and of course we have just signed a definitive 3-year OEM manufacturing deal with Tahi Outdoors, which is part of the KJK Sport Consortium.
Okay.
Tahi Outdoors is the preeminent manufacturer of high quality aquatic sports products, boards, SUPs, stand-up paddle boards, racing dinghies, racing yachts, sailboats, etc. And they're part of the KJK, where you have Elan, the big sailboats, etc., and skis. And so the fact that we have got a 3-year manufacturing OEM with Tahi, the first funds have been paid. We're working with their industrial designers now in the refinement of the board for mass production, and then there'll be the production of the first aluminum mold, very costly item.
Of course,
but this will spit out millions of boards.
So on that then, when will we see the boards in the market?
If all goes as on schedule, and right now it's ahead of schedule, we will see the boards in time for Canada Day. They won't necessarily be here. A couple of them will be here at that point. Yeah. Because the main launch focus is in Greece, obviously, where we already have our allies, and then in 2 key places in Italy, and people will know these well. The Amalfi Coast, Positano, and the island of Capri, the jet set place for the Italian Riviera. Yeah. So you can see the linkage, Astir Palace, and then up north, south of Rapallo, which is the headquarters of Maris. There's a little hint there for you. But you got the Cinque Terre area, and these are, you may have been to these places, these exquisite Italian Riviera towns, small little cove. Zambezi, we call it Zambezi heaven because you have beautiful coves and inlets with beaches, and of course millions and millions of tourists. So to answer your question, that first batch of board will come right out of the factory in France. Tahiti's in France, Vans, France.
Right.
And there'll be huge amounts of boards taken into those areas. COVID, we physically don't have to go to Greece this time around because we have our very reliable allies there who will be doing the show and tell and promotion.
Right.
They're effectively a sales force. In Italy, we will, if we have to stay in quarantine for a little while, in Tel Aviv, but the executive of Zambezi will be in Italy. Italy is going to be a massive market.
Yeah.
You know, we're very, very excited. Investors can take tremendous confidence in the fact that unlike a lot of other stories, which are slow, Zambezi is going to move at lightning speed. It's a story that will develop very tangibly for people, very measurable milestones. Reach out and in a few months you better reach out and touch it.
Right.
It also brings into Zambezi as investors a whole new demographic that other products and publicly traded companies have a difficulty accessing, which is millennials. This is not a problem for Zambezi. We are approached on a regular basis by scores of people in the millennial age. We do have our seed round private placement open currently. A lot of them can't come in because of the exemptions required. But we can see them definitely that they'll be there as retail buyers of the stock the second it launches. We're hoping for it to list in about 4 to 6 months.
Wow.
At that point, we'll already be in production.
Well, it sounds like you're going to dominate, for instance, the Mediterranean area for sure. I mean, it is such a small area, and you get that many boards over there.
Caribbean as well. The Caribbean is big interest there too.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. So, well, everybody at Zimtu is super excited for Zambezi. We believe it's going to be the next big thing. And if you have any questions for Justin or the team at Zambezi, you can find his contact information in the description. So, again, Justin, thank you for speaking with me today.
Great. Give us a call. We'd love to talk.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.